It's the final countdown. Literally, I have a large head. Hats don't always fit in my head. Hello everybody, welcome back to Stu's Stitches. Today we're going to be talking gift knitting. Now I know it's getting mid-November, so we're kind of getting on the late end, but you know what? A lot of these you could use for birthdays, you can use for all sorts of stuff, or just, hey, I like you and I want to knit you or crochet you a gift, because today I'm doing 10, or in sign language, 10 gift knits. Now, any of these categories, I could probably make a whole video just in and of itself, but you know what? We're just going to do some kind of basics, but if there's one category that you want me to kind of do a little bit more in-depth video of different gift ideas or just fun pattern ideas that you like, please let me know, and I can definitely do that for you. So let's get started. First idea, hats. Now, hats are a really great idea because it's pretty easy to make a kind of a stretchy hat that's going to fit a majority of head sizes unless you got like a big noggin. Hey, and I got a pretty big noggin. Literally, I have a large head. Hats don't always fit in my head. I know it doesn't look like it, but I have a really large head. So, and the things that I'm talking about would fit my noggin, so they should fit your noggin. Believe me, it's not just the brain that's making my head big. But I'm gonna talk about one knit and one crochet hat pattern that I think you guys are gonna like. The first pattern is a knit pattern, and it is the classic ribbed hat from Purl Soho. Now, I'm gonna put up a little picture here with the face out because it is my child. And what's really interesting is the hat that my child is wearing is the classic ribbed hat from Purl Soho, but that hat fits their head and it fits this big noggin. What's really cool about it is because it's ribbed, it's really stretchy. And what's nice about it is if you see in the picture, the brim part for my child is pretty thick, but it still goes over and shapes to their head. But for me, the brim just kind of comes down and is much smaller because it's covering more of my head, a bigger head. So what's really nice is if you make a size that fits your head, which I'd have to look in the sizing to figure out what size I had. I can't remember, but it literally did fit my 4.5-year-old's head relatively well and still fit mine. And I loved it. It was just stretchy and nice and warm. Although this one I accidentally put in the washer dryer and I ruined it. Very sad. I need to make another one. Now for a fun crochet hat, we have the Cherish Hat by Tonya Bush. I'm looking at my phone if you're wondering. This is a really easy crochet hat, and as you can see, they have the pom-pom on there, which just makes it super, super adorable. You could make your own pom-pom, or I guess technically you could leave it with off, but I think it looks really cute with that, and it'll just keep you nice and warm, super easy pattern. I don't really crochet too many hats, but I do think that this would be one that you could make relatively quickly, kind of, you know, get a bunch of them out. Usually crochet is much quicker than knitting, so you could probably bust a few of these out within like a week if you're doing some very last minute gift crocheting. The next category are scarves. Now, I told myself I'm only gonna do one thing per category, but I'm probably gonna break the rule multiple times on this, and I have two for each. Now, one of the knit ones is not easy, at least it doesn't look easy to me, but it's really cute. So I'll give you one that's a little bit easier and one that's a little bit more difficult, and then kind of similar concept for the crochet, just because there's some people who are going to be advanced knitters and crocheters and some people who are not, or if you have a longer time to make something for someone, or if you don't. So let's start with the knit. The first knit is the Honeycomb scarf by Emily Bolduan. I think that's how you say her name. What I love about this is it's a very simplistic pattern that once you do it a little bit, then it's just kind of the same thing over and over and over again until you knit as long of a scarf as you want. So all you have to really do is learn a pattern, you know, like a couple rows, and then you're good to go. And then it's pretty easy to just kind of like stick it in a bag, like a small little purse or something, or like a crossbody. And then you can just take it along with you and just pull it out, knit, 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 and then eventually you'll be done. It's kind of a mindless thing that you can do, which is what I really love about scarves that have a simplistic pattern to them. It's kind of a repetitive thing that once you get it in your brain what that pattern is, it's easy to take on the go, and you don't have to look at a pattern on your phone or like have paper with you or be looking on your computer. You can just kind of do it on the go, which I like because I can do that for some aspects of my job. This next one is just freaking adorable. It's a very different concept than the honeycomb scarf, which is a bigger, thicker wraparound scarf. This is just literally like a, it just goes in like this, so very small. It might not keep you quite as warm, but it's called the berry scarf by, and I'm gonna like read this, Aveong Son. I hope that's pronounced properly. It's just so adorable. I think this would be cute as more of a outfit, almost accessory than functional warmth. I'm sure you could make it and use it as functional warmth, but I think it's just cute and would add something really beautiful to your outfit. Like if you had something a little bit more understated clothing wise and then have this scarf over it, and especially in like the berry color or a contrasting color, if you had it in the cream and then had some darker like greens or blues or different things, it just could look so pretty. I don't know how difficult it is because I have not looked at the pattern, honestly, but I just really liked it and think that you should make it for someone because it's freaking adorable. Now, for crochet, I have two scarves as well. The first one, again, is a very simplistic ribbed scarf. This is called the Classic Ribbed Scarf Just for Him by Thondda Mol, or Mol, M-O-L. Again, this is just gonna be your basic ribbed scarf. It's gonna be super easy to make. The only thing that's gonna take long to make it is just the length of a scarf of how long you want it, but the pattern itself is just ribbing, like pretty much seems like the entire way. So I think you could probably, again, a little bit longer than a hat, but you should be able to pump this out pretty quickly if you can just get through the ribbing pretty quickly. And it's nice because it's called Just for Him, so it's indicating more on the side of making it for possibly a male, but it's such a classic pattern that anybody could use it. You could do it in variegated yarn, speckled yarn, faded yarn, pretty much anything, and this would look really cool because it's such a simplistic pattern that you could make the yarn the star of the show, and that could really add some cool factor to this scarf. The other scarf for crochet is the Sayre, I believe that's how you say it, the Sayre scarf by April Garwood. And what I liked about this is it doesn't look too complicated, but it's got some really nice patterns to it to kind of just give it that up a level factor. It's a little bit more fancy than just your classic rib scarf, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be too difficult to do. You know, it's just got some basic like border on it, and then the middle has some really cool simplistic design. And again, I feel like this could be a very gender neutral. I think depending on the coloring that you use and just like the personality of the person, it really could work for either or any gender, sex of person. The next category is cowls. Now, I really like cowls because what's nice about it is that with a scarf, they're beautiful, they're nice, and if you wrap it around enough times, it's gonna be nice and thick and keep you really warm. However, I sometimes have issues that the scarves kind of fall off. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you wrap it around and all of a sudden it kind of migrates its way and then opens itself up. What's nice with cowls is it's literally a tube, so it's not gonna fall off on you. It's gonna stay right there and keep that neck region nice and warm. So let's talk about two knit, two crochet options. The first knit one is called Cowl at the Moon, pretty funny, by Danielle Comeau. I think that's how you say her name. What's really nice about this is, as you can see, it comes down quite a bit, and then it can also go up pretty high, but you can also fold it down. So if you don't want it way up here, you can just fold it down, and then it's gonna give a nice kind of right around this area, like about mid-neck, right to where your chin is. But if it's really cold and you almost want it like covering up your mouth, you can pull it really high up to about here, just below your lip level, depending on you know, how high you make it. I guess you could probably make it a little bit taller if you really want it like way up to nose. You could do that and then fold it a few times down. So I like the versatility of it, and it's such a simple pattern. Again, you could use multiple different styles of yarn and let the yarn kind of shine on its own, whether it's variegated, speckled, faded, multicolor, texturized, anything like that could really make this cowl pretty cool. The next knit cowl is going to be the Sockhead cowl by Kelly McClure. And what I really like about this is kind of similar to the cowl at the moon, but this one doesn't come down quite as much. It's more just neck level. But what's really cool is it's really long, so you can scrunch it up to make it thicker around your neck, but you can literally pull it over your head and kind of almost use it as like a, in a sense, a balaclava if you want to. I've seen some pictures. I don't know if I can show, let me see. Like you'll see in the picture, there's people that have it over their mouths. And then I'll show you a picture here of a little kid who literally has it pulled over their head and it covers them almost like a balaclava. So you can use it as a cowl or a balaclava in that sense. So it's almost like a 2-in-1. And this one is using fingering weight. So it can be lightweight, but it can also just add a nice layer of warmth like under a coat, or if you don't have a hood, it could add that, but then you can pull it back down to just have it around the neck to use it like once you get inside. So it has a lot of versatility, and I just think it looks really cool. And it doesn't take a lot of yarn either because it's fingering weight, and it's a pretty simplistic, little bit of ribbing, and then just stockinette, and then like some more ribbing. Super easy to do. Now we have our crochet cowls. The first one is just called Cowl, keeping it simple, by, I believe it's Wannipa Yunker. Really cool name. It seems like it's just very basic tube cowl, but it's got a really cool pattern to it, which is what I like, that it's kind of basic, yet it's got enough interest to it with kind of the cool pattern that you have with like the eyelets and stuff. And with the eyelets, you can pull it up to kind of keep yourself warm, but it also is not going to be too thick and warm because it does have that airflow with the eyelets in it. I think they're called eyelets. It's like got little holes in it, you know. I really like that. I think it has a lot of versatility, and it seems like it'd be pretty simple to make. And you know, theme here, you could use lots of different yarn for it. Okay. The last cowl for crochet, I'm going to look right at my phone while I'm trying to pronounce this because, oh, Lord help me, it's in a different language, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It's called the Cowl / and I'm assuming this is cowl in another language, Tubhalsduk. You can let me know how horribly off I am with that pronunciation if you know even what language that is. It's by Ulrika Andersson. So I'm assuming that's some sort of Finnish, Dutch, Swedish, Norwegian, something in that area, because the Andersson has 2 S's. It sounds like that to me. Totally could be off. But it just looks so nice and thick and warm. Again, it looks like you could pull it up pretty high and even possibly over your head. They don't have that in the photo, but it looks to me like you could probably do that if you use like a stretchy enough yarn with it. And they used a gradient yarn in the picture, and that looks really cool. So again, you could play with colors of yarn here, like rainbow or other fun things, and it's gonna keep you nice and cozy. You could wear it with a hat, without a hat, whatever you wanna do. Now this next category is very broad, so I kind of picked a few for each knitting and crochet because this really could encompass tons of different things, which is toys. Now, toys could be tons. There's so many different amigurumi within the crochet world, and there's honestly a lot of different knit toys, especially for younger kids, fruits and different play places and all sorts of cool stuff. So I just picked a variety of different options. And again, we could do a whole nother video just on toys alone for knit and crochet gift ideas. The first one for knit, I just had to put it in because it's so cute. There was a big trend a little while ago, and maybe even still now, of the emotional support chicken. It was mostly popular in knit. I think they did have a crochet pattern, but it honestly wasn't too popular in crochet because I think the crochet version had some issues from what I heard. I don't know. You can let me know if it didn't, if you've done it. But I found a free version, and this is called Poppy the Chicken by Jessica Reeves Potasz, I think. And it's just as cute. It's a little bit smaller. And this could just be cute as a gift for someone who's more of like a country, antique-y sort of person. Maybe if someone really needs an emotional support chicken, they could use this. Or you could use it as a toy for a little kid who is playing with like farm animals. And Poppy could be one of their farm animals. It's just really cute. Or you could honestly make it for yourself as a gift for yourself if you just need like a little chicken just to keep you happy when you're losing it. Maybe you could squeeze Poppy a little bit instead of squeezing somebody else. You know what I mean? We all have those days. The next toy I say is a little bit, I don't know if you really consider it a toy, but it's kind of in my other category. And this is going to be a knit gift idea for someone who is a knitter, potentially, or I guess a crocheter. And this is a fingering weight yarn cozy. It's by Melina Brell. I know there's other ones out there, but this one is free. So if you don't want to pay for a pattern, you can do this one. It's really nice because a lot of people who knit and crochet, but especially knit, end up caking their yarn. And you know, when you get like down to that last, it just starts to kind of go wonky. And this is just a really simple, nice idea. You can make like a whole little pack of them for your friends, you know, get a skein of fingering weight yarn and you could make a couple of them or 1 or 2 fingering weight yarns and just make a couple and then give your friend like a whole pack of them maybe in different colors, like make rainbow colors or something. That would be fun to have a yarn cozy of each color of the rainbow, or at least start the rainbow, like give them half the rainbow and then maybe on another gift occasion give them the other half of the rainbow. Whatever you feel like doing. I would do all of them because I know I could not stop myself on half of the Roy G Biv. I can't just Roy and then G Biv or Roy G and then leave out the Biv. You can't do that. It's all Roy G Biv, right? Right. The last knit toy is the Woolly Cacti 1 pattern, 3 looks. It's by Lucille Randall, and it's just adorable. If you're like me, I would love for someone to knit me a little plant or a cacti because I can't keep the real ones alive. It's just not going to happen. So if you want to make me one that I can set up and it's never going to cease to exist because I can't water it properly. I have 2 kids and I keep them alive, but like I can't plant. Don't even ask me. But this would be really cute. Cactus are cute. These ones you can touch and not have to go to the hospital. So like win-win, right? I have 2 toy crochet ideas, which again, there's tons and tons because there's tons of amigurumi and all sorts of stuff. But I just picked 2. The first one you're gonna think is a little weird, but I will explain. The first one is a balloon dog, and this one's by Gloria B. Now the reason I say this is actually kind of a cute idea is I made a giant, like this big, balloon dog. It's probably bigger than that, like this big, of like chunky yarn. And I crocheted it for one of my friend's little kids. She was about 6 at the time, maybe 5, I can't remember. And I thought, oh, she would really like this balloon dog because you do have to maneuver it in a certain way to make the balloon dog. Like you literally have to twist it around like you would a balloon. So I actually gave her a video like link to instructions of how to do it in case it came apart. But what ended up happening is the kids would take it all apart and then it's pretty much just like a bunch of links, you know, in a sense. They would take it and use it as like a snake, or they would hold on to it as they were walking, like they'd all walk in a line, they'd all hold on to it, or like one would have one and one would have the other, kind of tug of war. So in the end, it became a multifunctional use toy for them, almost never even as a balloon dog. But I just thought that was such a good idea because kids have a great imagination. So you could put it back into the balloon dog and set it out, and then your kids can totally take it apart and use it for other things, and it was a hit. The kids loved it. The other crochet toy idea is just a little succulent. Again, this is very small, super easy to make. You could do a whole little set of them, or just make a ton and give them as all little tiny like stocking stuffers, or I don't know, like little gift exchange where you just have to do like cheaper gifts, this would be a good idea because they're small and cute. Or like I said, if you're doing it for like kids set, you could have, you know, like little succulents as part of their house or as their little garden, all sorts of ideas. And this one is by Fay Lyth. And again, it's just a super simple, great, quick, last minute, let's get this crocheted up really quickly gift that you can make, and people are gonna love them because who doesn't love a good succulent? And again, you don't have to water it and keep it alive. Win in my book. The next gift is socks. Now, this is only gonna be if you kind of know this person and potentially either can ask them what size their foot would be or if you can measure them. So this isn't going to be a gift for everybody because you do need to know the size foot of the person that you're working with, and not everybody, I don't know all my friends' feet sizes unless I could ask their spouse to tell me the size of their foot, which I guess you could. So this is maybe for a loved one that you can look at their feet and not be a weirdo. Yeah? Okay, so I have one from knit category, the DK Weight Vanilla Socks by the Crazy Sock Lady Designs. We know her, we love her. She's all about the socks. This is going to be a really great beginner sock for people. Again, it's just a basic vanilla sock and a DK weight. She has tons and tons and tons of tutorials on this sort of thing. So really great kind of dip your toe into the sock world if you want to try to make that as a gift for somebody. The crochet for the sock is called The Basic Sock, or just Basic Sock, by Nicole Cormier. I think that's how you say her name. Cormier. Again, just a very basic sock. I didn't want to pick anything too crazy in the sock category. I just wanted something really basic and easy to make. Again, if you wanted to make a bunch of socks for a bunch of people, these would be pretty easy to crank out pretty quickly, and you could just make a whole like set. I know a lot of people would love to get like a 3 set of socks or a 2 set of socks. And you could just pretty much use any yarn, like any style of like color, variation, speckled, whatever. And you could really make some crazy socks colors because a lot of people like to wear crazy socks under their business uniforms, outfits, because people don't see the socks, but they kind of feel cool and special. To have some like crazy homemade knit socks or crocheted socks would be so fun for people. Let that person be a little bit wild when they're doing their 9-to-5 boring job. I technically have a 9-to-5 boring job, so it's okay. But like, hey, spice up your life, right? Now we are into our kitchen category because again, lots of people like knit and crochet things in the kitchen. So we're pretty much doing 2 kind of styles for the kitchen. The first one is your pot holder. Now this is very basic. So many people when they're first learning to knit and like crochet, they make pot holders because they're very simple and basic. But what I like about the first one with knit is this is a double thick pot holder. It's technically by Purl Soho, but it says it's by Danielle Taylor, but you can look it under Purl Soho. And what I like about this is it's very easy, but it's gonna be nice and sturdy because it's that double thick. It's got like that nice little diagonal ridge in the middle. It's got the little loop on the end. So these are gonna be really nice and sturdy. And if you use a really pretty like cotton yarn with it, they're just gonna be really fun and can add some like really nice, I don't know, like spice to your kitchen or something like that. So many people have very beigey white kitchens, and then you can have like a bright yellow pot holder. I don't know. I just think it'd be fun to add some color to your life, and pot holders are easy to do and a quick gift. The other kitchen item I have for knit are just coasters. These are going to be your, oh my gosh, I need to make a last minute gift for whoever, grandma or mom or, you know, your cousin, whatever. If you need to do a last minute gift idea, these could be fun. Again, you can use super fun, crazy colors, and these are just simple, swirly coasters. They're by Squiggly Bups, which is an amazing name, Squiggly Bups. I feel like if I could pick my own name, Squiggly, middle name Bups, that would just be really fun. Why not? Technically, you probably could legally change your name to that. Please, somebody change their name to Squiggly Bups and then let me know. But again, these are super, super simple. You can make, again, Roy G. Biv. You could make a rainbow set for somebody and that would be super fun. You could even use speckled colored yarn in the Roy G. Biv. I'm a rainbow girl. Sorry, I just am. But you could also do colors of their kitchen. Like if their kitchens are in really pretty blues or fun maroons, you could use a variety, like a gradient of colors related to their kitchen or their living room, family room, whatever, and kind of match it to them or their personality. And it's going to be super simple and quick to do. For crochet, we're starting with a dishcloth. I almost lost my wording there. We're starting with a dishcloth, and this is by Catherine Richardson, called Spread the Dishcloth Joy, which is just a fun and happy name. We all need some joy in our lives right now. This is a very simplistic dishcloth, but it's not just like, you know, single crochets or just a double crochet like the entire way. It's got kind of a fun pattern to it, but it's going to be really quick and simple for you to make, and you can pump a bunch of these out, put them in little packs for your friends, put them in a small gift, be on your way. What's better than a quick and simple gift, right? The last kitchen accessory we're going to talk about, again, is crochet, and these are the Simple and Modern Style coasters by Irengi Udeshika. Cool name. I hope I pronounced it right. These are so cute because they look fancy, but they're not hard to do. And again, as I've been saying, repetitive here. You could pump a bunch of these out and make little stacks for your friends in all different colors or different styles of yarn, that sort of thing. And they're very useful. People love coasters because who wants to have water stains on their really pretty tables? Nobody does. It ruins everything. So be the love of coaster gifting this year for your friends and family so water rings do not destroy their lives. It's happened to everybody, right? Now, these next two categories are going to be kind of similar, but a little bit different. Same, but different, which are mittens and fingerless mittens. Very different categories. I myself am not a big mitten person because we are a sign language household here, and so you cannot sign very well with all fingers together. So fingerless mittens, we can still use our fingers. So I wanted to give both options, but they're just some really cute knitting mitten patterns and crochet mitten patterns out there. So like maybe if you're just driving and not using any sign language, you can put your cute little mittens on or just make them for pictures. I don't know, but they're just so cute. Okay, let's get into it. The first knit mitten pattern that I have is just a very basic mitten because sometimes people don't want to go too crazy on their mittens. They just want to pump them out because you know what? The temperature dropped and oh no, we don't have any mittens because someone's outgrown them or they've gotten ruined, and you got to pump out a mitten by the morning because you know what? You don't have any mittens in your house. And this is what you could do. Again, the world's simplest mittens by Tin Can Knits. Comes in all different sizes, very, very basic. You could get them out really quick, and people just love little mittens. And especially if you're like your little kids, those would be super easy to pump out because they're tiny, little tiny hands. We like little tiny cute mitten hands. They're so adorable. But yeah, these are just really basic. You could even like stripe them or just use like really fun, funky yarn, and that'd be really fun to do. But we like our basic mittens. The crochet for our mittens is the Autumn Wheat Mittens by Brianna K Designs. These are, again, come in a variety of sizes, have just a little like sprinkle of style to them, but are still pretty basic mittens. And again, you can pump them out pretty quick, and they would just be really fun to do, really fun to wear. I don't know, what else can you say? They're a cute pattern, they're a great mitten, and go make one. I've never crocheted a mitten before. I've never even like knitted a whole mitten before. I've started, didn't do it. Maybe you can do it. And then tag me if you've actually made these mittens because they're really cute. Now we're gonna pop into the fingerless mittens. Now there's loads of fingerless mitten patterns out there, especially in the knit category. Everybody's all up in the fingerless mittens, but I wanted to pick something very basic. It's not gonna take too long. And these are the Patty's Perfect Mitts by Haley Albertson. These are just your basic, regular stockinette fingerless mittens. And what I like about them is that they come up pretty high, but if you wanted to, you could just adapt the pattern and make them much shorter if you're not like an up the arm fingerless mitten sort of person. So these are adaptable. And again, they have them in like 3 different colors, like almost like really chunky stripe. You could use one color. You could stripe them all the way down. You have a lot of different ideas that you could do because it's a very basic fingerless knit pattern. And you could probably try this pattern first because it's very basic. And then if you wanted to, then you could try some more patterns after this, which have a little bit more flair and style and design on the fingerless mitts, because you can have like 20 fingerless mitts and still be fine, right? Nobody said you have to be minimalist with your mitts. No minimalist. Oh my God, I can't say it. Susie sells she-shores. Can't say that either. All right, tongue twister, fun. Now for the crochet fingerless mitts, it actually is a 2-in-1 because you can make them as fingerless mitts or you can make them as full mittens, which is really cool to have both designs in one. These are and I hope I'm saying this right, the Haigi, I think it's Haigi, Arrow Gloves by Raffaella Tassoni. We're just gonna be the butchering names today, but that's okay. And again, these are such a cute pattern, and I love that you can do either one. So you could make a pair of fingerless and then a pair of regular mittens and kind of just like go back and forth depending how cold it is that day or what you're using them for. So it's always great when you can get a 2-for-1 pattern, and the design is just freaking adorable. I love it. You could even probably modify, like for some people, they like the fingerless mitts, but they want their thumb to be covered. So you could make the pattern of the mitten with the thumb, but do the top of the fingerless or whatever you decide that you want to do. You can make a mitten with the fingerless thumb, which would be weird, but you could do that. Mix and match. Like 27 in one. Not really 27 in one, but you could do multiples in one pattern. Okay, 2 more categories. I know, it's a lot, but I just thought we'd kind of chuck everything at you and then you can pick what you like. Lots of chapters down below so you can pick what you want because nobody's going to watch this whole thing, I'm sure. If you do, please let me know down below. Props to you. The next category is bags. Long story about I can't properly say the word bags. I used to grow up saying it the wrong way. I'm not even going to pronounce how I used to say it because I got mocked for it for many, many years. I've worked very hard to pronounce this word right. So B-A-G-S. Bags. If you're from Michigan, you might know how I pronounce bags. Okay. The first one is a variation on a bag that I made before, which is called the Japanese knot bag. And this one is called the Dumpling Bag by Jeannie Lee. But it's the concept of the Japanese knot bag, which I think I have. And I can actually show you. Whoop! Dropping stuff. Okay. Okay. I actually have this one sitting right next to me, so I can show you. This is kind of a version. This is not the dumpling bag, but it's the same concept. So you have one side that's a little bit shorter, one that's a little bit longer. You tuck it in, and then you just hold the bag like this. I use this tons when I would do walking and knitting, or just in general. I've used this bag a ton because, again, you can stick it inside, stick your yarn inside of there, pull it out, center cake it, pull it out, and then just hold it and knit or crochet. And it works. It's really great. Like I said, this is not the dumpling bag, but same concept. So you should definitely make one of these. Super, super versatile. Love it. The other knit bag is just a simple market bag. It's really great to make a ton of these and then utilize them at the grocery store when you're shopping, because let's all be environmentally friendly and use our reusable bags. If we can remember, which I can't. I forget every time, but I get paper and then I recycle them. So like, I'm sorry, I try. I always forget. But these would be really good to have if you're doing some shopping, like at the farmer's market or just even at your local grocery store. And this one is by Lily Sugar and Cream. Really simple, basic market bag. You can shove a bunch of stuff in it. You can just utilize it in your everyday life too. You can even stick like, you know, the sweater in there or whatever you want to stick in there. I don't know, picnic blanket. Not that everybody's having picnics. Well, if you're in Australia, you might be, because I know it's like getting to be summer there. So maybe you could put a picnic blanket in there. Now for the crochet bags, I didn't want to leave you out with your own market bag because, again, super versatile. So there's a crochet market bag by Stephanie Zed. Very simple, basic pattern. This looks super simple. I mean, it does look super simple. That's not what I meant to say. I meant to say it looks super similar to a market bag pattern that I made, that I crocheted, and I still use to this day in my child's playroom, and I have a bunch of their dress-up clothes in it. So super versatile. Mine is like green with a yellow border and handles, so it reminds me of corn. Ever since I made it, I didn't mean to do that. It just kind of happened, and then now I cannot unsee that it looks like corn. It's a corn bag. The other crochet bag that I got is a tote bag. Now this is kind of similar to a market bag, but more structured, and I just thought it was super, super cute. This is the Sophia tote bag by, I'm gonna really butcher this, Tubhalsduk. Probably not even close, but you know, it's up here, so you'll see it. But yes, this is like a super simple, just adorable looking tote bag. You could, again, make it in many colors, speckled, all sorts of fun stuff. You could even like bedazzle and jewel it if you wanted to. I don't know. It has a lot of holes in it, so you could stick little charms. You could add beads to it. Make it your own, because tote bags are cool. Okay, we are here. Last category, which are headbands, because some people don't like wearing hats because, hello, hat hair. If you are going to do hats and you don't want to have hat hair, you can line them with satin, just an FYI. But many people like headbands because they're cute, easy to just cover up your ears, but still show your hair. If you show your hair, you know, my hair is not looking too hot today. But if you have really pretty really pretty styled, nice hair, you might want to show it off even when it's cold outside and keep those earsies nice and warm. If you're looking for a headband knit that is thicker, I really like to have a thicker headband because I don't understand how some people can have just part, like this part, but like part of their ear is sticking out. Not gonna happen. If I'm gonna have a headband, cover my big fat ears, okay? I need it all covered. And this one is super cute, nice and thick. The Seed Stitch Twist by Brome, I think that's how you say it, Brome Fields. And it's just super cute. It kind of, in a sense, is almost like a hat because it's so thick. It's almost like a bun hat, you know, where it kind of comes all the way up and just shows like the bun of your hair. But it's not. It is a headband, but it's really thick and really nice. And it's just a super simple seed stitch, and then you twist it. So easy peasy. You can pop these out really quickly for friends and make them in all sorts of colors. Okay, the next one for knit is another Brome Fields. She just makes really cool headbands. This one, again, is actually almost like a hat, but like a bun hat, you know, that stops here. This is super thick and kind of goes around, and you can almost wear it as like a bun hat. It looks like it's pretty simple ribbing, a little bit of a pattern, but I just like that it's so thick because, again, headbands are nice, but if they don't really cover much of your ears, then what's the point? So this would be a really good compromise in between a hat and a thinner headband. Brome Fields has really cool designs. I need to make this ASAP, but I have too many things that I need to make right now. We don't understand boundaries over here, and setting up healthy, you know, expectations. Why? Why would we want to do that? Stress and anxiety. For crochet, we have a twist headband because those are super fun to do. And this is just the Simple Twist Headband by Divine Debris. Cool name. Again, super easy. You just crochet, twisty, twisty, stick it together. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. The last one is for crochet. It's a headband in a sense, but it's kind of a hat. It's one of those messy bun hats. So it's like a super long headband or an unfinished hat because it stops about here. Yeah, right about there, so that you can let your hair out. And this is, I love the name for this, Ribbed for Her Pleasure Messy Bun Hat by, I think it's Natalie Navarro. Love that name, so adorable. Again, just a really simple, ribbed, almost like full hat, really big headband. I'm kind of into the messy bun hats / super thick headbands. I think that's gonna be the thing for this year because we all like to have our buns out. If not, if you have a big bun like me, then you're gonna have to have a super big hat that can fit your head because your bun takes up so much room. So these messy bun hats are such a cute idea because then it doesn't require you to have a ginormous hat. Win-win. Oh my goodness, we're done. We did it. I know, that's a lot. Again, there's gonna be chapters down below for each thing, so you can just pick and choose what you like. Let me know if you guys have made any of these or are going to make any. That would be super fun because I think these would be great gift ideas. I'm gonna keep these kind of like tucked in the back of my head for next year because I've already got like all of my ideas for people who I'm actually gonna like knit for. And I'm not crocheting anything this year, but I just don't have time to make any of these, but they're super cool ideas. So what are you guys gift knitting or crocheting? If it's not any of these, let me know down below because I always love more ideas for gifts because you know what? Some people have birthdays in the winter or some of these toys or other things, kitchen stuff, you can make anytime for gifts for anybody. Birthdays, anniversaries, I feel like weddings. Nobody wants a pot holder for their wedding. I don't know, maybe they do. Probably not. But birthdays are all year long. So you can make some of these things all year long. Maybe not like the hats or the headbands. Unless somebody is like half the year in the northern hemisphere and then half the year in the southern hemisphere and just really loves snow. Then maybe you could do it. Highly doubt that. I don't think there's such a thing. Let me know if you've ever known anyone that does that. I am so getting off topic here. Okay, thank you so much for watching. As always, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, because I just love making more ideas for you guys, and I want you to come and join in the fun. Please do. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.